The Awakening. In the year 2157, humanity had spread across the solar system, establishing colonies on Mars, Europa, and Titan. Earth remained the center of human civilization, a gleaming jewel of technology and culture. Despite their advancements, humans were considered a young and relatively insignificant species in the grand tapestry of galactic civilizations. That was about to change. On a quiet Tuesday morning, alarms blared across every spaceport and military installation in the solar system. Massive energy signatures appeared at the edge of Pluto's orbit, far larger than anything humans had ever encountered. Within hours, a fleet of alien ships entered the system, their sleek obsidian hulls absorbing light like cosmic predators. At Mission Control in Houston, Sarah Chen, the head of Earth's Unified Space Command, stared at the holographic display with a mixture of awe and terror. "What are we looking at?" she demanded, her voice steady despite the chaos erupting around her. A young analyst, his face pale with fear, responded, "Ma'am, we're detecting over 500 ships, each larger than anything in our fleet. They're not responding to any of our hails." Sarah's mind raced. Humanity had encountered other alien species before, but always in peaceful circumstances. This was different. "Sound the global alert," she ordered. "I need to speak with the president." As the alien fleet approached Mars, the red planet's meager defenses sprang to life. Railed guns and missile batteries fired volley after volley, but the projectiles seemed to vanish before they could reach their targets. The aliens responded with weapons beyond human comprehension, beams of coruscating energy that sliced through Martian installations like paper. On Earth, panic spread like wildfire. Governments scrambled to formulate a response, but against such overwhelming technological superiority, what could they do? It was in this moment of despair that something extraordinary began to happen. In a small farming community in Iowa, John Hawkins was watching the news with his family when a strange sensation overtook him. His muscles tensed, his vision sharpened, and suddenly he could hear conversations from miles away. Confused and frightened, John stumbled outside, only to find he could leap impossible distances and lift objects that should have been far beyond his strength. Similar reports began flooding in from around the globe. Ordinary people were manifesting abilities that defied explanation. Enhanced strength, speed, reflexes, and even more esoteric powers like telekinesis and energy manipulation. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, a geneticist at the Beijing Institute of Genomics, was among the first to recognize the pattern. "It's as if a dormant part of our DNA has suddenly activated," she explained to a stunned group of colleagues. "These abilities, they're not random mutations. They're too widespread, too uniform. This is something that's been inside us all along." As the alien fleet entered Earth's orbit, humanity's defenders prepared for what seemed like certain doom. But they were about to receive help from an unexpected source. In New York City, amidst the chaos of evacuation, a young woman named Zahra Hassan discovered she could generate force fields. Without thinking, she threw up a barrier just as an alien energy beam lanced down from the sky, saving hundreds of lives. In Rio de Janeiro, Carlos Mendoza found he could control and redirect energy. When an alien ship attempted to land in the heart of the city, Carlos channeled its own weapons against it, sending the massive vessel crashing into the sea. Similar scenes played out across the globe. Ordinary people, suddenly gifted with extraordinary abilities, standing up to defend their homes and families against an overwhelming alien force. Sarah Chen watched the reports flood in with a mix of disbelief and hope. "This changes everything," she murmured. Turning to her staff, she barked out orders. "I want every awakened individual identified and brought in. We need to understand what's happening to us, and fast." As Earth's military forces regrouped, bolstered by these newly empowered humans, the alien invasion faltered. The invaders, clearly unprepared for this level of resistance, pulled back to regroup. In the brief respite, world leaders convened an emergency session. The President of the United States, Her face, grim but determined, addressed the globe. People of Earth, we face the greatest threat in human history, but we are not defenseless. Something has awakened within us, a power that may be our only hope of survival. I call on every nation, every person, to stand united. Together, we will defend our home. As the speech concluded, Dr. Rodriguez burst into the conference room, her eyes wild with excitement. Madam President, I've made a breakthrough. These abilities, this awakening, it's not random. It's a deliberate activation of dormant genes. Genes that suggest we're not who we thought we were. The president leaned forward, her interest piqued. What do you mean, doctor? Elena took a deep breath. The genetic markers we're seeing, they're ancient, older than humanity itself. It's as if we've been engineered. And now, in our darkest hour, we're remembering what we truly are. A hush fell over the room as the implications sank in. Humanity wasn't just fighting for survival, they were on the brink of discovering their true nature. As the alien fleet regrouped, preparing for another assault, humanity steeled itself for the fight of its life. But now there was hope. In cities and towns across the globe, people were discovering abilities they never knew they possessed. Training centers were hastily established, teaching newly awakened individuals how to control and harness their powers. John Hawkins found himself recruited into a special forces unit, his enhanced strength and senses making him a formidable soldier. Zahra Hassan was tasked with developing defensive strategies, her force fields providing crucial protection for key installations. But it was clear that raw power alone wouldn't be enough. Humanity needed to understand the source of these abilities and how to fully unlock their potential. As the sun set on the first day of the invasion, Sarah Chen stood at the window of her office, watching the alien ships looming in the night sky. She knew that tomorrow would bring challenges unlike anything humanity had ever faced. But for the first time since the invasion began, she felt a glimmer of hope. Whatever humanity truly was, whatever secret lay buried in their genes, they were about to find out, and the galaxy would never be the same. The resistance. As dawn broke on the second day of the invasion, humanity awoke to a world forever changed. The initial shock had given way to a grim determination as people across the globe grappled with their newfound abilities and the reality of an alien threat. In the skies above, the alien fleet hung like a sword of Damocles, their obsidian ships a constant reminder of the peril Earth faced. But on the ground, a resistance was forming, unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. Sarah Chen, now acting as the global coordinator for Earth's defense, had set up a command center in the Rocky Mountains. As reports flooded in from around the world, a picture began to emerge of humanity's awakening powers. We're seeing patterns, Dr. Rodriguez explained, gesturing to a holographic display. The abilities seem to fall into distinct categories: physical enhancement, energy manipulation, psychic powers, and what we're calling probability alteration. Sarah nodded, her mind racing with the tactical implications. And how many have awakened? Elena's expression was a mix of excitement and concern. At current estimates, about 10% of the global population, but that number is growing by the hour. As they spoke, the alien fleet began its second assault. This time, however, Earth was ready. In orbit, a hastily assembled group of awakened humans with energy manipulation abilities formed a defensive line. Led by Carlos Mendoza, they created a shimmering barrier of pure energy, deflecting the aliens' initial barrage. On the ground, enhanced humans like John Hawkins engaged in direct combat with alien landing parties. The invaders, clearly unprepared for such resistance, found themselves facing opponents who could match and even exceed their physical capabilities. Zahra Hassan coordinated a global network of force field generators, protecting key cities and installations from orbital bombardment. Her powers had grown exponentially in just 24 hours, and she found she could maintain multiple fields across vast distances. But the aliens were adapting quickly. They deployed new weapons, creatures that seemed to be living shadows, capable of phasing through solid matter. In Tokyo, entire city blocks were consumed by these shadow beings before a group of psychic awakened managed to repel them. As the battle raged, Dr. Rodriguez made another startling discovery. The more we use these abilities, the stronger they become, she reported to Sarah. It's as if we're remembering how to use long dormant muscles. Sarah frowned, considering the implications. Can we accelerate the process? We need every advantage we can get. Elena nodded hesitantly. Possibly. But we're dealing with forces we barely understand. Pushing too hard could be dangerous. Despite the risks, humanity had little choice. Training centers around the globe began pushing awakened individuals to their limits, unlocking new levels of power. Some thrived under the pressure, their abilities growing exponentially. Others didn't fare as well. In a secret facility in Siberia, a young man named Alexei Volkov was undergoing intensive training to enhance his probability manipulation abilities. As researchers pushed him to affect larger and more complex systems, something went wrong. In a blinding flash of light, Alexei vanished, along with everything in a 5-mile radius. The incident was a stark reminder of the double-edged nature of humanity's awakening. These powers could save them, but they could also be a terrible danger. As the second day of fighting drew to a close, both sides had suffered heavy losses. The aliens had lost nearly a third of their fleet, but several major cities on Earth lay in ruins. The planet's ecosystems were in chaos, as the awakening wasn't limited to humans. Animals were also manifesting strange new abilities. In the command center, Sarah received a transmission from the alien fleet. A holographic figure appeared, humanoid, but with iridescent skin and eyes that seemed to contain galaxies. Humans. The alien spoke, its voice resonating on multiple frequencies. You have surprised us. We did not expect you to remember your true nature so quickly. Sarah stepped forward, her voice steady. Who are you? Why have you attacked us? The alien's expression was unreadable. We are the Orcs, guardians of galactic order. And you are a threat that must be contained. Before Sarah could respond, the transmission cut off. She turned to her advisors, her mind reeling. What did he mean? Remember our true nature. And why do they see us as a threat? Dr. Rodriguez, who had been analyzing the transmission, spoke up. The genetic markers we're seeing, they're not just old, they're unlike anything in our database of known species. Whatever we are, we're not just another race of evolved primates. The implications hung heavy in the air. Humanity wasn't just fighting an alien invasion. They were on the brink of uncovering a truth about themselves that could shake the foundations of their understanding of the universe. As the third day of the invasion dawned, a new complication arose. Reports began coming in of humans whose awakening had gone wrong. Individuals consumed by their powers, turning into threats nearly as dangerous as the aliens themselves. In the streets of London, a man whose body had become living flame rampaged through the city, unable to control the inferno within him. In the Amazon rainforest, a woman who could control plants had merged with the jungle itself. Her consciousness spread across thousands of miles of vegetation. Sarah made a difficult decision. We need a team to deal with these anomalies, she announced. We can't afford to fight on two fronts. A special unit was formed, composed of the most stable and powerful awakened individuals. Their task was grim but necessary: contain, or if needed, eliminate those whose powers had overtaken their humanity. Meanwhile, the battle against the Orcs continued to rage. Humanity's defenders were growing stronger by the hour, but so too were the invaders adapting their tactics. They deployed weapons that seemed to target the very genes responsible for the awakening, temporarily nullifying powers. In orbit, the space battle had reached a stalemate. Carlos Mendoza and his team of energy manipulators had destroyed dozens of Archon ships, but they were nearing exhaustion. We can't keep this up forever, he radioed to Sarah. We need a game changer. That game changer came in an unexpected form. In a remote monastery in Tibet, a group of monks who had been in deep meditation since before the invasion began, suddenly awakened. Their powers were unlike anything seen before. They could manipulate reality itself, bending space and time. Led by an ancient master named Tenzin, the monks joined the battle in orbit. With a series of complex gestures, Tenzin opened rifts in space, swallowing entire Archean ships and closing before they could react. The tide of the battle began to turn. With their new allies, Earth's defenders pushed the Archean fleet back, breaking their formation and forcing them into retreat. As the aliens withdrew to the outer solar system, humanity had its first moment to breathe since the invasion began. But Sarah Chen knew this was just the beginning. They'll be back, she told her advisors. And next time, they'll be ready for everything we've thrown at them. We need answers, and we need them fast. Dr. Rodriguez nodded, her eyes alight with determination. I think I know where to start. The genetic markers we're seeing, they're not just in our DNA. They're in our junk DNA, the parts we thought were useless. But what if that's where our true history is written? Sarah leaned forward, intrigued. What are you suggesting, Doctor? Elena took a deep breath. I'm suggesting that we're not who we think we are, that humanity's entire history might be a cover story, and it's time we learn the truth. As night fell on the third day of the invasion, humanity stood at a crossroads. They had survived the initial onslaught, unlocked incredible powers, and forced a vastly superior enemy into retreat. But the real battle, the battle for the truth of their own existence, was just beginning. In the depths of space, the Archean fleet regrouped. Their leader, a being of pure energy named Xerix, addressed his commanders. The humans are remembering faster than we anticipated, if they fully awaken. The implications hung in the air, unspoken but understood by all. For the Archons, the true nature of humanity was a secret worth dying, or killing, to protect. Back on Earth, as the world caught its breath and prepared for the next phase of the war, Sarah Chen looked out at the star-filled sky. Somewhere out there were answers. About the Archons, about humanity's true nature, about the incredible powers awakening within them. And she was determined to find them, no matter the cost. The Alliance. As the fourth day of the invasion dawned, Earth was a planet transformed. The initial chaos had given way to a grim determination as humanity rallied against the Archean threat. But with the invaders regrouping in the outer solar system, a new challenge emerged: how to take the fight to the enemy. Sarah Chen, now officially recognized as Earth's defense coordinator, convened an emergency meeting of global leaders and top awakened individuals. The holographic conference room was a testament to how quickly humanity had adapted, with representatives from every corner of the globe attending virtually, many showcasing their newfound abilities. We've bought ourselves some time, Sarah began, her voice echoing in the virtual space. But we can't just wait for the Archons to return. We need to take the initiative. John Hawkins, his enhanced physique barely contained by his military uniform, spoke up. Ma'am, with all due respect, how? We barely have interplanetary capabilities, let alone the means to pursue an alien fleet. It was Dr. Rodriguez who answered, her eyes gleaming with excitement. Actually, we might. Our awakening isn't just about combat abilities. Some individuals are manifesting powers that could revolutionize our technology overnight. She gestured, and a series of holographic images appeared, showcasing incredible feats of engineering and scientific advancement. Anti-gravity devices, faster-than-light communication systems, even early prototypes of warp drives. If we pool our resources and knowledge, we could leapfrog centuries of development in a matter of weeks, Elena concluded. The implications were staggering. Humanity wasn't just fighting for survival. They were on the brink of becoming a true spacefaring civilization. As the conference continued, discussing strategies and allocating resources, an alert flashed across everyone's screens. And as the conference continued, discussing strategies and allocating resources, an alert flashed across everyone's screens. An unidentified ship had entered the solar system, but it wasn't Arcan in origin. It's broadcasting on all frequencies, a technician reported. They're requesting to parley. Sarah exchanged glances with the other leaders. This could be a trap, but it could also be an opportunity they couldn't afford to miss. Patch them through, she ordered. The holographic display shifted, revealing a striking alien figure. It was vaguely humanoid, with iridescent scales and 4 arms. Its eyes, deep pools of swirling nebulae, regarded the assembled humans with what seemed like curiosity. "Greetings, awakened ones," the alien spoke, its voice a melodious trill. "I am Starlith of the Resistance. We've come to aid you in your fight against the Arcans." A murmur rippled through the conference. Another alien race. A resistance. Sarah stepped forward, her voice steady. "We appreciate the offer, Exarlith, but we've had our fill of alien intervention. Why should we trust you?" Exarlith's expression shifted to something approximating a smile. "Because, like you, we were once bound. The Arcans have suppressed countless races across the galaxy, keeping them from reaching their true potential. We are those who broke free." Over the next hour, Sarlith explained the true nature of the conflict. The Arcans weren't just invaders. They were self-appointed guardians of the galaxy, believing that certain races, those with the potential for godlike powers, needed to be contained for the good of all. "But their methods are flawed," Sarlith continued. "They don't just contain. They suppress. They limit. They've been manipulating Earth for millennia, keeping humanity from discovering its true nature." Dr. Rodriguez leaned forward, her mind racing. "The junk DNA, the sudden awakening. It all makes sense now." Exarlith nodded. "Your species is special, even among the awakened races. The potential within you. It frightens the Arcans more than anything they've encountered before." The revelation sent shockwaves through the assembly. Humanity wasn't just fighting for survival. They were fighting for the right to determine their own destiny. Sarah, ever practical, focused on the immediate concerns. "You mentioned aid. What exactly are you offering?" "Knowledge," Sarlith replied. "Technology. And allies. There are others like us, scattered across the galaxy. Together, we can stand against the Arcans." The offer was tempting, but Sarah was cautious. "We'll need time to discuss this, and verification of everything you've told us." Sarlith bowed slightly. "Of course, we await your decision." As the transmission ended, the human leaders erupted into heated debate. Some were eager to accept the alliance, seeing it as their best chance against the Arcans. Others were more skeptical, wary of trading one alien influence for another. In the end, it was John Hawkins who cut through the arguments. "Look," he said, his voice carrying the weight of command, "we're in over our heads here. We're talking about a galactic conflict that's been going on for who knows how long. We need allies, we need information, and we need them now." Sarah nodded, coming to a decision. "We accept the alliance, but cautiously. We'll work with Exarlith and the Resistance, but we maintain our autonomy. Humanity's destiny will be decided by humanity alone." The decision made, events moved quickly. Exarlith's ship landed at a specially prepared site in the Sahara Desert. As the alien delegation disembarked, they were met by a team of Earth's most powerful awakened individuals, led by Sarah Chen herself. The cultural exchange that followed was unlike anything in human history. Exarlith and his team shared incredible technologies. Faster than light drives, energy weapons that could pierce Archan defenses, and most importantly, techniques for accelerating and controlling the awakening process. In return, the humans shared their unique perspectives, their art, their music, and their indomitable spirit. Sarlith was particularly fascinated by human creativity, something apparently rare among awakened species. "You must understand," Exarlith explained to Sarah as they watched a joint human-alien team work on a new defense system. "Most awakened races become focused, singular in purpose. But humans, you contain multitudes. It's what makes you so potentially powerful. As the alliance grew stronger, Earth underwent a transformation. Cities were rebuilt with alien technology, blending human aesthetics with extraterrestrial function. The awakening process, now better understood, was carefully managed, with more and more humans unlocking their hidden potential. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. Cultural clashes between humans and their new alien allies were frequent. And there were those who resisted the changes, fearing that humanity was losing its identity in the face of cosmic revelations. Moreover, the threat of the Archons loomed ever-present. Long-range sensors detected massive fleet movements in nearby star systems. The enemy was regrouping, gathering strength for what would undoubtedly be a devastating assault. As the first month of the alliance drew to a close, Sarah stood atop the newly constructed Unity Tower in New York, a gleaming spire of human and alien design that stretched to the edge of space. Beside her stood Xarlith, both of them gazing at the star-filled sky. "They're coming, aren't they?" Sarah asked, though she already knew the answer. Xarlith nodded, his nebula eyes swirling with concern. "Yes, and not just for Earth. Your awakening has sparked something across the galaxy. Other suppressed races are beginning to stir. The Archons will seek to make an example of you." Sarah's jaw set with determination. "Let them try. We'll be ready." As if in response to her words, a streak of light shot across the sky. Humanity's first faster-than-light ship, returning from its maiden voyage to Alpha Centauri. The battle for Earth had been won. Now, the war for the galaxy was about to begin. The revelation. As Earth prepared for the impending Archean assault, a startling discovery shook the foundations of the Human-Alien Alliance. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, working tirelessly to unravel the mysteries of human DNA, stumbled upon a truth that would change everything. In a secure laboratory deep beneath the Himalayas, Elena stared at her holographic display in disbelief. The complex strands of DNA twisted and turned, revealing secrets long buried in the human genetic code. "This can't be right," she muttered, running the analysis again. But the results were the same. With trembling hands, she initiated a call to Sarah Chen. "Sarah, you need to see this. Now." Within hours, Sarah, along with John Hawkins and Xarlith, had assembled in Elena's lab. The tension was palpable as Elena began her presentation. "We've been operating under the assumption that humans were simply another race suppressed by the Archons," Elena began, her voice steady despite her inner turmoil. "But the truth is far more complex." She brought up a series of holographic displays, showing comparisons between human DNA and that of other awakened species, including Xarlith's. "Our DNA isn't just similar to other awakened races," Elena explained. It's a culmination, a perfection." Xarlith leaned forward, his nebula eyes swirling with intensity. "What are you saying, Doctor?" Elena took a deep breath. "I'm saying that humans aren't just another suppressed race. We're the endgame. The final product of eons of genetic manipulation and evolution." The room fell silent as the implications sank in. It was Sarah who finally spoke, her voice barely above a whisper. "Are you telling us that humans were created to be what? Some kind of super beings?" Elena nodded slowly. "It appears so. But there's more." She brought up another display, this one showing Earth and its solar system. "I've found markers in our DNA that correspond to specific cosmic events. The formation of the moon, major asteroid impacts, even the positions of the planets. Our entire evolution has been guided, shaped by forces beyond our comprehension." John Hawkins, usually stoic, looked shaken. "But why? Why go to all this trouble?" It was Xarlith who answered, his voice filled with awe and a hint of fear. "Because you're the weapon that was never meant to be used. The final safeguard against something." Elena nodded in agreement. "Exactly. Our DNA contains locks, failsafes. The Archons aren't trying to suppress us. They're trying to control the most powerful force in the galaxy. The revelation hit like a shockwave. Humanity wasn't just fighting for their freedom or their planet. They were at the center of a cosmic game, pieces on a board they couldn't even begin to comprehend. Sarah, ever the leader, was the first to regain her composure. "This changes nothing and everything," she said firmly. "We still have a war to fight. But now we need to find out who put us here and why." As the group dispersed, each lost in their own thoughts, a new sense of purpose filled them. The war against the Orcs was no longer just about survival. It was a quest for the truth of human existence. Over the next weeks, as Earth's defenses were bolstered and its fleets grew, expeditions were launched to the far reaches of the solar system. Ancient structures were discovered on Pluto, Venus, and in the asteroid belt, remnants of whoever had engineered humanity's long journey. Each discovery brought more questions than answers. The structures contained technology beyond even Tsarlith's understanding, and hinted at cosmic forces that defied known physics. But time was running out. The Archean fleet, larger than ever, was detected at the edge of the solar system. The final battle for humanity's future was about to begin. As Earth's combined human-alien fleet took up defensive positions, Sarah stood on the bridge of the flagship, the HMS Prometheus. Around her, awakened humans worked in perfect harmony with their alien allies, their powers pushing the ship's systems far beyond their designed limits. "All ships report ready, Admiral," John Hawkins reported, now serving as Sarah's second-in-command. Sarah nodded, her eyes fixed on the tactical display. The Archean fleet was massive, dwarfing their own forces, but humanity had surprises in store. "Send the signal," Sarah ordered. "It's time to show them what we've become." As the Archean fleet entered the inner solar system, humanity unleashed its full potential. Ships piloted by awakened humans performed maneuvers that defied physics. Energy weapons, powered by the combined might of thousands of awakened individuals, lanced out, tearing through Archean defenses. On Earth, Zahra Hassan coordinated a planetary defense grid that turned the entire planet into a weapon. Massive energy beams shot from the surface, guided by her enhanced spatial awareness. In orbit, Carlos Mendoza led a team of energy manipulators, creating and collapsing miniature stars to devastate the enemy fleet. The battle raged for hours, the void of space lit up with explosions and energy discharges visible from Earth's surface. Slowly, inevitably, the tide began to turn in humanity's favor. As the Archean fleet faltered, their massive flagship approached Earth. A transmission cut through the chaos of battle, and a figure appeared on the Prometheus's view screen. The Archean leader, Xerix. "Enough," the being of pure energy declared. "You have proven yourselves worthy. It is time you learned the truth." Sarah, her uniform singed and her face streaked with sweat, stepped forward. "We're listening." What Xerix revealed shook the very foundations of human understanding. The Orcs weren't their enemies. They were their creators, tasked with guiding humanity's evolution over millions of years. "You were created as a safeguard," Xerix explained, "a weapon of last resort against a threat from beyond the boundaries of this universe. We had hoped you would never need to be awakened, but the enemy approaches. You are our last hope." As Xerix spoke, the stars themselves seemed to dim. At the edge of the solar system, a rift in spacetime began to open. The true war, the one humanity had been created to fight, was about to begin. The Ascension. The revelation from Xerix left humanity reeling. Their entire existence, their struggles, their triumphs, all had been in preparation for this moment. As the rift at the edge of the solar system grew, reality itself seemed to warp and twist. Sarah Chen, her mind racing with the implications of what she'd learned, turned to Xerix. "What is this enemy? What are we facing?" The Archean leader's form flickered, as if the very question caused him pain. "They are the void, the antithesis of existence itself. They seek to unmake reality, to return all to the nothingness from which it came." As if in response to Xerix's words, Tendrils of absolute darkness began to seep through the rift. Where they touched, stars winked out. Matter simply ceased to be. How do we fight something like that? John Hawkins asked, his voice tight with tension. It was Dr. Elena Rodriguez who answered, her eyes alight with understanding. We don't fight it. We create. All eyes turned to her as she continued. Our DNA, our powers, they're not just about destruction. We have the ability to shape reality itself. That's why we're so dangerous, so powerful. We're not a weapon. We're the universe's immune system. XR Lith nodded, his nebula eyes swirling with a mix of fear and hope. The doctor is right. Humans have a unique ability among all the races we've encountered. You don't just adapt to your environment. You change it. You create. Sarah's mind raced with the possibilities. Then that's what we'll do. We'll create a new reality, one the void can't unmake. As the plan took shape, humanity prepared for its greatest challenge. Around the world, awakened individuals gathered, their powers amplified by alien technology and their own growing understanding of their capabilities. In orbit, the combined fleet of Earth and its allies formed a defensive perimeter, buying time for what was to come. Sarah, John, Elena, and a core group of the most powerful awakened humans gathered in a specially prepared chamber beneath the Unity Tower. Here, at the nexus of ley lines and cosmic energies, they would attempt the impossible. Remember, Elena said as they took their positions, don't fight the void. Create. Imagine. Believe. As the void's tendrils reached Earth's orbit, tearing through ships and unmaking matter, the humans began their work. At first, it seemed hopeless. The void's power was overwhelming, its nothingness seeping into their minds, threatening to erase their very thoughts. But then, something changed. Sarah, her mind linked with the others, remembered. She remembered the taste of her mother's apple pie, the sound of children laughing in a park, the feeling of the sun on her face on a warm summer day. And she created. Around her, reality shifted. The stark chamber bloomed with life. Grass sprouted from the floor. Trees reached towards a sky that hadn't existed moments before. John thought of bravery, of sacrifice, of standing against impossible odds. And he created. Spectral armies appeared, heroes of every era, standing shoulder to shoulder, ready to defend existence itself. Elena focused on knowledge, on discovery, on the joy of understanding. Galaxies blossomed in the air. Intricate models of DNA spiraled overhead. The secrets of the universe laid bare. All around the world, humans joined in the effort. Artists painted realities into existence. Musicians played symphonies that became galaxies. Children's imaginations ran wild, populating the universe with wonders. The void recoiled, its nothingness overwhelmed by the sheer act of creation. Where it touched this new reality, it didn't unmake. It was remade, transformed by the power of human imagination and will. In orbit, Xerix watched in awe as the wave of creation spread outward from Earth, pushing back the void. They've done it, he whispered. They've become what they were always meant to be. As the wave reached the rift, reality itself shuddered. For a moment, it seemed as if the entire universe held its breath. Then, with a flash of light that outshone galaxies, the rift closed. The void was gone, pushed back beyond the boundaries of existence by the collective will of humanity. In the aftermath, as the new reality settled into place, humanity found itself changed. They were no longer simply inhabitants of Earth, but custodians of reality itself. The power to create, to shape, to imagine. It was theirs to use and to protect. Sarah Chen stood atop the Unity Tower, looking out at a sky filled with wonders born from human minds. Beside her, Xerix's energy form shimmered. What happens now? Sarah asked. The Archon's form seemed to smile. Now you take your place among the stars. Not as conquerors, not as gods, but as creators. The universe is yours to explore, to shape, to fill with wonders. As Xerix faded away, returning to whatever plane the Archons called home. Sarah felt a sense of infinite possibility. Humanity had faced its greatest challenge and emerged not just victorious, but transformed. They were no longer hidden deities of war. They were the architects of reality, the dreamers of worlds, the hope of existence itself. And their story was just beginning.